It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guest and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It will addresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another. It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guest and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It will addresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another.
Good afternoon and a pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program. This is the weekend's edition, by the way, of Nothing to Hide on Sky 107.1. Absolutely. Here we have nothing to hide because we speak directly from our hearts. That's why we have nothing to hide. And we ask the hard questions because we're not thinking about after the next. Welcome to it. My name is Matthias Labindi. Today is the 25th of June 2021, and this afternoon we're going to be having two distinct personalities on the program. We're going to be speaking to all of them via WhatsApp. The first person we're going to talk to briefly is the Presidential Press Secretary, Mr. Isaac Solo Kegbe. I want him to respond to this Front Page Africa headline: 37 men delegation to France is a question. And then Presidential Press Secretary, said, I'm aware that the president received an invitation for the conference in France. I cannot tell if he will be making the trip or not. I cannot confirm that. But how did the newspaper get the information that 37 men are expected to travel with the president to France? Mr. Solokiagbe joins us on the program this afternoon, quickly to tell us more about that for a few minutes. Then we'll bring in Martin Colley. Martin Colley has done some research. He's come up with some information about travel procedures, most especially the presidency. The president should not travel with more than 6 persons as a delegation. At this time of the COVID-19, even reduce his delegation 4 or 5. My name is Matthias. We'll be right back. That's right. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Nothing to Hide on Sky 107.1. And shortly, we're going to be joining the Presidential Press Secretary, Mr. Isaac Solo Kyogbe. And with this newspaper article before me, the Front Page Africa newspaper, by the way, Mr. Solo Kyogbe joins us shortly to tell us a bit about this conference that the president is expected to visit, to attend in France, and the information that about 37 persons expected to travel along with the president. This great article was written by Sir Lomax of the Front Page Africa newspaper. I need to give him that credit. And that's what a lot of us broadcasters don't do most of the time, to give our brothers who are doing in the print media credit for some of their great articles they write every time. So yes, we need to do that sometimes. They are also part of us. We sit on the radio, we talk, and we do the analysis. They do the critical research as well as do some writings. We too get out there, do some research. We all of us are investigative journalists. They need the credit. The story is very critical, right? And there are a lot of critical points here that I do not want to analyze right now before I arm Mr. Solo Kyogbe. I need him to come on first before I ask my questions. So right now, as we're talking about the COVID-19, it would not in any way appear to anyone or make sense when you hear that the president is expected to travel with 37 persons. And in fact, even travels right now, many people expect that the president should even limit his travels by now. He should limit his movement around. Even the county tour, many of us expected, those of us critical, why is the president still going about with the county tour when the country is hit by COVID-19? At that time, we had not started experiencing the third wave of the COVID-19, but the second wave was still raging. But the president was already doing his, his tour. This is so significant. He had 2018, 2019 to do that, but yet he went on. Do we have the presidential press secretary now on the line? Okay, I think we have just few seconds left, or just a minute or two left to get Mr. Isaac Solo Kyogbe on the line to tell us about this conference. What is the conference about? What is the nation expected to get from, this conference in particular? How many persons are expected to travel with the president to France, despite the COVID-19 pandemic? Eugene Fagon said a number of things that landed him in trouble, but it seems Eugene did the right thing to come out in public to say some of the things that he said, which is something that many people now have an insight of this entire vaccine. Now, we are getting information that Isaac Solo Kyogbe is on. Mr. Kyogbe, Mr. Presidential Press Secretary, to know on the program, Nothing to Hide. I hope you have nothing to hide from us this afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you, and I hope I have place to hide. I don't have place to hide.
You're coming in a bit low. Please. Except what?
Except you are hiding yourself from me.
No, I am not. I'm not. You're hearing me,
but I'm not seeing you.
I know. The thing is, you can't see me now because technology is not permitting us. Our producers are doing all they can to ensure that you can see me next time we have a conversation. So I'm not hiding myself. I cannot be a presenter of Nothing to Hide. Then I hide myself from my guest. But welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
How many tell us about this conference? The president, you've confirmed to the media that the president received an invitation to travel to France. How many persons? What is this conference about? Let's begin with that.
Well, I don't know how many questions I could answer at a time, but I think the president has been invited to France, not just by the president of France, but by the entire European Union to address a conference called the Generational Equality Conference. Basically, is aimed at highlighting issues affecting women because women issue has become an epidemic within the pandemic, where women have been abused, where women have been facing huge lapses in my country. The president launching this women initiative in terms of protecting women. He was being invited by EU and the government of France through the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, to address that conference. It's a 3 day conference that will be taking place in Paris. But these are our partners who have been supporting Liberia Initiative when it comes to women initiative. You have the EU and the Swedish government supporting women endeavors, sponsoring our fast track codes in terms of women issue, trying to better the lives of our girls in order. So, I mean, if you have your partners who have been there for you, I don't want to talk about the PBA initiative that France is a key sponsor, and then their partners invite you to a program and you say you're not going, then of course it's another issue. Besides, we had a more people here in Liberia. I remember like 3 4 weeks back, there was a conference in France where the president didn't go, and people were wondering why the president was not there, and he called himself friends of Macron and SYC. So another at the conference, the president is expected to meet President Macron on the margin of the conference to highlight other peace and security issues. You know, Liberia and France are some of the countries immensely contributing to the peacekeeping efforts in Mali. So there are a lot of things that will be discussed there at the conference.
So, Mr. Kagwe, has the president confirmed whether he's going to attend or honor this invitation or not?
The president is going to the conference. He has agreed, except something otherwise happened, but the president is going to France. The conference, like I said, it's a 3 year conference from the 30th to the 2nd, and after that, the president will be back in Liberia. So definitely the president has confirmed his attendance, his participation, and he will be addressing the conference as well.
So how many persons is the president expected to leave with? Because the newspaper is reporting, papers are reporting in town here that the president is traveling with 37-man delegation. That's a huge number. How many persons is he expected to leave with? We're going to get you on record now.
Well, I don't know where those papers got their numbers from, and I think every time the president travels, if you were a test, the president delegation has not been a secret. It has not been a Facebook or social media placards. The president, whenever the president travels, we issue an official release stating the number of delegates that are coming with the president, and we are going to issue a due. How you call this? A press release. Sorry, my other phone was. We issued a press release stating who are going. But the names I saw, there are a lot of names I saw over there that don't even resemble the listing. And mind you, let's say this: this is a president of the Republic of Liberia that is going to another. It's not a tank. It's not a sweeper or this and that. And everywhere in this world, when the president travels, the president entitled to a delegation. So the delegation are going to that these are people that are going to play a meaningful role. So people will take a bunch of names, maybe you always show the president, put it and say that the president delegations. I mean, come on and do the rightful things. So the president don't even have any number closer to what they talk about. I'll be going to the delegation. But like I said, as our number, before the president leaves, we're going to do a press release stating who's traveling with the president, who's going to be in charge of the president, and what we normally do.
So, Mr. Kagbe, what you're saying here now is that the papers are reporting based on conjecture.
Hello?
Are you saying to us that the papers are reporting just based on conjectures? They're not.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're live. I'm getting you, except you now. I'm asking you whether what are the papers.
I don't know where that list came from, but I think it was people, the normal tractors we have in Liberia who normally want to mislead our people are doing that. Because take, for example, there are a lot of names on that list that
you're fading away, Mr. Kagbe. But let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. It's much better. Let me ask you this question now. During the Ebola crisis in this country, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had a serious stringent measure put in place. I'm not saying George, we have to copy Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's style, right? Ellen Johnson Sirleaf prevented her cabinet ministers from leaving the country. Those that were out of the country, she requested that they come back or the Rigs dismiss her. Why is the president still bent on traveling out of the country despite the fact that government is aware that the cases are upsurging in here?
And so since you want to make comparison, let me bring you into the line. Is it Liberia the only country that is facing this epidemic? Or is it the president of Liberia since Ellen found people from traveling? Or is it the president, is it the only president in the Republic of Liberia, Liberia president is traveling? There are a lot of people that are going on delegations, and everywhere the president went for tangible. He went to seek the interest of the country. It's not, and if you don't know, ordinary government officials are not leading the country because they lead. They only lead based on permission. That means what they are going for is in the interest of the country and it's official matters. This president is going for official matter. Okay, so if people want to draw you into breaking comparison all the time, Joe Biden went to meet Putin. Was he not traveling? How many cases do they have there? What we are expected to face is we are dodging fact for him. We should be encouraging our people to wear our face mask. People should join the efforts to fight COVID-19 because this is not going anywhere soon. If we do not follow those protocols, you can buy thousands of beds to put in the hospital, if we do not follow the protocols, we are going to live with this virus. So it's not the president traveling that is going to hinder the fight against COVID.
Okay, now this reaction here from the political leader of the Alternative National Congress. He's concerned, by the way, that I just can now understand we're not taking to impose appropriate restrictions on travelers coming.
What is his concern? He said he's concerned. What is his concern?
I'm just reading his comment. I'm just reading a direct quote from the newspaper here, right? So I want to give you a little hint, right? He said, I just cannot understand why early actions were not taken to impose appropriate restrictions on travelers coming into the country from COVID-19 hotspots around the world. This is a complete leadership failure beyond words. This man expressed that this is a complete leadership failure. It's not just people coming to the country, but the president traveling out of the country with a huge delegation. It also raises concern. What have you to say about that, Mr. Presidential Press Secretary?
So if you would conclusion that the president is traveling with huge delegation, there was no need to call me an action. I just made clarity that what you saw in the news is complete fakeness. So if you want to say he's traveling with a huge delegation, then of course I have some concern with what is
How many persons did the president travel with?
I told you that by virtue of principles and a number of things, before the president leaves the country, we issue a press release and state the dedication.
Hello? Okay, think this is the network. Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Kagbe.
So
go ahead. I just wanted to bring you to a point. Is he back now? No, that's internet. I just want to.
So what I'm saying is you expect nothing else from opposition. Why we come from opposition, we always be criticizing. After criticizing, now you're expressing the concern. His desire to work with the government. The president is going to work with anybody, be an opposition leader, be any librarian who mean well to fight COVID-19. But opposition will never give the government any credit. The measures that we are put into place were held by international communities. We are working along with our partners. We are not working in isolation. The sparkle you see, you have CDC from America represented on it. You have WHO. All of our health partners are part of it. So if you sit down and say we did nothing, then of course.
So what I want to also get, Mr. Kagbe, you can just take the phone from your ear. I'm getting you clear so that my viewers can see you're on video, but yet the phone is right there. Now, in fact, even the video is upside down. But now, what I want to ask you quickly is that you were making some comparison. In my question, it sounded to you like a comparison. Now, you also came out to do some comparison about the U.S. the United States president, and all of that.
I'm just telling you.
So, no, what I want to know is that can you compare? Can you compare?
I'm not saying that what I was saying and what I'm saying, and I will continue to say. This is not the only country that is affected by this pandemic. This is not the only president in the world that is traveling. Okay, so if the president is traveling, what do we stand to benefit is one. How are we working with our partners too? And this parliament is very important. Liberia cannot be in isolation. Even to fight COVID for to be successful, we have to work with our international partners. So if your partners that are supporting all on the time and they invite you to the program that is aimed at championing some of the things you are championing, women's rights, equality, and they ask you to and you say you're not going, then how do you expect them to support you when you need them? How do you I ask you for support, you give me support. When I ask you to support me, then you decline. Tomorrow you come to support me?
Okay, now sir, quickly. I just quickly, I want to advise you quickly to just walk away from the camera a little bit. I mean, I'm walking away in a sense, take it from your ear, and let me look at your face. I'm seeing you, unfortunately, according to you can see me. That's technology. I just take it from your ear quickly and just look straight into the camera. The point I want to make is that the countries in question you're mentioning, they do not have a vulnerable health sector as compared to our country. Is the president taking into consideration that?
Those countries you are hitting, how many lives lost? More than half of our population.
But the population is not also the same, Mr. Kiagbe. The population of those countries in our country, we are just 4-point-something million people. We've not done a census, maybe we're around 5 million now. So if you want to compare people,
even partial to ratio, it does, look, let's what we are saying. Even a one lost life is lost, it's important. But to just downgrade your country to say only America this, that, what were the other countries? So I agree, Liberia has the lowest population. But compare yourself with Namibia. Namibia population is far less than Liberia. I mean, Namibia, the population is far less than population. How many people have died from there? One life is so important, so we should not dwell on it. Okay? You talk about education. That aspect has been defeated. You are talking about what the president is trying. The president is trying to get more support to work with international partners. You cannot work in isolation. You can. No country is an island. We need each other. So once we get support from these people, on you to support them, what's the big deal?
So Mr. Kiagbe,
or in West Africa that is traveling.
Okay, so
all the other people don't have issues, or they don't have they are not combating COVID.
Now, lastly, sir, maybe this is the last question, but I just want to ask you now. Now, you do not know for a fact how many persons the president has on mind to travel with. So you're not speaking with facts on how many persons the president is going to travel. You're going to do a press release when the president decides to travel. And the newspaper, too, is now releasing a report based on conjecture.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You just end my thought.
You are done with your question?
Go ahead. You don't know the number of people the president is traveling with. So you cannot speak with authority how many persons he's going to travel with. Until that time comes, when he's leaving, then he tells you, so no, I'm leaving with XYZ people. So you cannot automatically disagree with this newspaper report that the president is expected to travel with 37, delegation, 37-man delegation. Because many times things come from that office, we call that office, many of you do not have the information, but it's out.
Anyway, it's good that we don't have the information, but you have it. But what I'm telling you, I did not say I didn't know how many person travel with the president. I said it's not our routine to let you know how many person travel with the president now, but we do not have 37 person travel with the president. I try to point out names they have that are not there. People sit and put names together. The president is not traveling with 37-man delegation. That number is far from reality. That's a fake list you have. It's nothing. So if you have the information, that you think I don't have, then it's good of you.
And it's not true that's reporting it, isn't it?
Law and gospel.
Okay, Mr.
So
Kiagbe,
what you need to do, look at our release when it comes up, or go to the airport, those are going to fly one by one, and see whether it matches what the newspaper report. I'm not saying newspaper is not reported. It's not everything that comes in the newspaper is law and gospel. I'm just telling you for the fact that 7% are not traveling with the president. Okay, that names on that what they are alleging traveling, they are not traveling. So if you believe the newspaper more than what I'm saying, then there was no need calling me.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I thought you are only calling me. I think you are only calling me. I did not say I don't know how many presidents. I did not say how many presidents traveling now because it's not a time to say so. I didn't say I didn't know.
But at the moment, but Mr. Kiagbe, no, Mr. Kiagbe, let's put this in context now. The president has not told you how many persons he's traveling with. Therefore, you do not know yet how many persons he's going to travel with. Or do you have the information you don't want to give to the public? If you know the number of people that the president is going to be traveling with, why not tell the public?
If I don't know, if I don't know how many persons traveling with the president, how would I say 37% are not traveling with the president?
But why not tell us how many persons are traveling with?
It's that time you don't have something your generation that talk about in Bako. If I have some information, but it's not time to be released to the public, you don't do that in journalism. Or even if I did a release and sent to you, I said do not broadcast it or air until I get to you. You don't do that in journalism.
Okay, so at the moment you're still
They don't have
holding,
embargo.
you are still holding the information on your chest as to how many persons are traveling with the president, that which you know.
I don't know. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay, but lastly now, Mr. Kiagbe, this conference
For the fourth time, right?
no.
For the fourth time.
Lastly, this is the last question. I just want to know. I just want to know what is the country, Liberia. This conference the president is attending at this risky moment of our country and the world over. What is the significance of this particular conference, and what does Liberia stand to benefit from it?
Well, I think this is the third time this question is being asked. What Liberia stands to benefit, and that's the question we always ask. We are talking about improving and working with our partners. These countries, the EU and France, have been supporting all Liberia agenda, even in the fight against this very pandemic we are faced with. Supporting our women agenda, supporting the cause of women. And these people, like I said, beside the conference, this president is going to hold meeting again with Macron on the margin of the conference, looking for money to support your troop, Biden gears. France is the one that is going to help us to do that. But mind you, it's not ever you go to say hello to Matthias. Matthias should go cash in because that's what most all look forward to. But the way you relate to Matthias, tomorrow will be there to work along with you. So it's not every time we go back cash right away. Improving the relationship, working with each other, supporting each other cause is more important. And that's what is happening at this time.
Okay, so I really wanted to let you go, but I'm also getting information that you and your deputy, the deputy presidential press secretary, will be on a trip. What's the importance? Is that true, sir?
You say what?
I say I almost let you go now, but I'm just receiving information that is reported that you and your deputy are going to be on a trip. Why are you traveling along with your deputy, along with the president?
If my deputy and I are on the same trip, what does it mean? We don't have work to do there. If we are
so the office of the president when you leave. Meaning
if we are going on holiday. Like that discuss.
No, I don't want you. I don't want you, sir. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want you to tell me if it happens and all of that. Is that the case with your deputy with the president?
Because you want me to discuss the delegation of the president, and I think we'll do that officially. This is what I'm attaching the condition of war. If we travel, what's wrong? Haven't we traveled together before?
But should that be the case?
We are not going on holiday. If we have to make the trip, we are not going on holiday.
Oh, he left. Yeah, I needed to say, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. His mystery is in, but Martin has done some research and he said, listen, President George Weah, if for any reason he travels with more than 30 persons or even 37, even more than 6 persons, Martin has threatened a lawsuit against the president, President George Weah, the presidency of this country, that is in violation of the laws of this land. Let me read just the arguments, yeah? It's just the part of the newspaper that talks about arguments roll on. So in the meantime, as Liberia records the highest number of COVID-19 cases in Africa and its death toll mounts, shocks across the country appear to be turning to scroll and sorrow. Okay, sorrow appears to be turning to more anger. Opposition politicians have tried to capitalize on that anger. Alexander Cummins, political leader of the Alternative National Congress, said in a release that if President Weah's government had done its job, it wouldn't have come this far. He said, I just cannot understand why early actions were not taken to impose appropriate restrictions on travelers coming into the country from COVID-19 hotspots around the world. This is a complete hardship or leadership failure beyond words. Cummins of the ANC said, the ANC political leader said, in the midst of this chaos and existential threat to citizens, President Weah, without any conscience and sense of responsibility to the people, left on his usual private jet to Ghana. Commons urged President Weah to cancel all further travels and remain in country to lead this effort until this situation is handled. Now, the president is reaching out to people, asking them to ensure that they fight collectively, they fight jointly against this menace, but stay traveling. All right. Princess Elisa Mataya, feel that I may go. Tell him. No, he's the presidential press secretary. I should give him the time to speak. By the way, what is Coming saying here? He said there is no time for politics here. I call on President Weah to lead. That is why the people in 2017 they entered a social and changed their lives. He cannot continue to abandon the responsibility. He cannot continue to lead from the back as has been the case since his ascendancy. And prudent leadership lacking. So let's hear. Do we have Martin Colley? Do we have Martin Colley on the line now? Martin is getting on shortly. Martin Kane Colley is our other guest on the line. You just listened to Presidential Press Secretary Isaac Solo Kyagbe. Now, I was asking questions. Some of my listeners are even concerned about the fact that he's responding to my questions, but that's the job of the media, right? We've given him the opportunity to speak out and explain himself and provide clarity on this particular article reported by the Front Page Africa, not just the Front Page Africa newspaper. Several other papers have reported that President George Weah is expected to leave this country on the 30th of this month, and then with 37-man delegation. Why is that the case? Martin is on the line. Martin, good afternoon and welcome on the program. Martin, you listen to Presidential Press Secretary Isaac Solo Kyagbe. What's your take first? Let's begin with that.
Thank you, Matthias, for the invite. Thanks to Sky FM family. Permit me to extend my compliments to all Liberians across the 15 political subdivision.
Okay.
The first and foremost thing is that
Martin, I just want to say to you, Martin, hello. Martin, I want to say to you quickly, we have to be really punchy with your points. You have to be punchy with your points and responses to my questions because we have limited time. Our audience need this time to participate.
I want to express my disappointment in the Presidential Press Secretary. In my opinion, he's not even fit to be Presidential Press Secretary.
That is not a decision for you to make.
Questions.
Martin, it's not a decision for you to make.
But let me just say this. It is important to say, Matthias, a Presidential Press Secretary should respond to a journalist's question in a more responsive manner and not to be arrogant. I monitor him very clearly. Did he tell you the number of presidents that are traveling? He doesn't even know. How can you be a Presidential Press Secretary and you do not know the number of presidents on the president's delegation? That's a national embarrassment. Like you said, Front Page Africa and other news outlets reported this because the information got leaked. Do you know what it means, Matthias? In the midst of COVID-19, in the midst of economic paralysis, where hardship has increased as a result of inflation, low growth, zero investment, do you know what it means to travel with 37 persons? Do you know what it means? Does President Weah understand the political, social, economic, and health implications? Does he really understand? Let's be honest here, Matthias.
But at the moment, Martin,
people at risk.
At the moment, Martin, I cannot say, I cannot say for a fact that there are 37-man delegation is expected to leave this country on the tele with the president because the voice we just listened to is an authentic voice.
I can say for a fact, Matthias. No, the voice I listen to is a dishonest voice. Let's be clear. Let's set the record straight.
What did the law say?
Just listening to
Martin, what is in the law regarding traveling, presidential travels? Tell us about that.
Okay, let's go to the 2017. Let's go to the 2017 GOL revised and approved travel ordinance.
Okay,
what does the law say? Specifically, Annex 3. The Presidential Press Secretary does not even know the law on travel.
You don't know that, and you two do. Probably you're just trying to put this man on the spot. You can say he doesn't know the law on travel. Can you just speak to that based on what you have, sir?
This is what the law says, Matthias. Annex 3. no more than 6 persons shall constitute a sector statutory delegation. Example, delegation from several ministries or agencies at the same time, provided each ministry or agency other than the sector lead is represented by at least 1 person. The law is very clear. If you go to Annex 1, right? If you go to Annex 1, the law is also clear. Hello, Matthias?
You're live. Go ahead. Martin, go ahead.
Hello, Matthias?
You're live. Go ahead, Martin.
Yes, so if you read Annex 3 of the 2017 revised GOL travel ordinance, it is very clear, not more than 6 persons. So what are they carrying more than 6 persons? You're talking about 37, Matthias. Does Liberia have the resources to facilitate the movement of 37 public officials from Monrovia to Paris? When we are begging Paris for budgetary support, we are begging the European Union for budgetary support. What is this, Matthias? This is beyond cruelty. The president does not understand national priorities. How can you take 37 persons and look at the composition, Matthias? Out of the 37 persons, you only have 4 women. And which conference are they attending? A pro-woman conference conducted, organized, and facilitated by UN Women. They are not even being invited by the government of France. I listened to the presidential press secretary talking about they will have a meeting on the sideline with Macron. That's a lie. Macron recently invited African leaders to France, specifically on the 18th of May 2021. The presidential press secretary is not following all these things. African leaders, they were in Paris meeting with Macron. Why wasn't President Weah represented? He was never invited. You know why he was never invited? In the context of geopolitical analysis, because world leaders still consider President Weah as a mere footballer who does not understand statecraft. So they invited other African leaders. They left the president of Liberia out because he's clueless when it comes to governance and the management of the affairs of the state. So let's be clear. Presidential press secretary should have told the Liberian people that African leaders were invited by the same president of France, Macron.
But he did not attend then. But you know, man, that the president did not honor that invitation, right?
Come again?
Did you know that the president did not honor that invitation?
Which invitation?
The invitation to France.
Come on, Matthias. You talking about African leaders to discuss the possibility of the redirection of 100 billion. You say president did not honor invitation. You know what came out of that conference? Let me explain to the Liberian people. The presidential
listen. Let's get something straight, because I just listened to the presidential press secretary here that there were people questioning the president why he did not attend his friend's invitation. He did not respond to his friend's invitation. So which conference are you referring to now? Martin? Martin?
Hello, Matthias?
I am asking you a question, sir. You just spoke about a conference that the president was invited. I know that some African leaders were in France a couple of weeks ago. President Weah did not attend that conference. Are you disproving that?
Now, let me say this, Matthias. President Weah was never invited. I challenge President.
He was invited. The presidential press secretary just said that.
By saying something is not a fact, Matthias. Let him produce the invitation letter.
Oh,
Macron invited African leaders officially. All of them have their invitation letters. I challenge the government through the office of the presidential press secretary to prove me wrong. President Weah was never ever invited to this conference. As I was saying, Matthias, let me just tell you the benefit of this conference. To tell you that it's not an ordinary conference, 100 billion United States dollars. This is what we are talking about here. The proceeds from that conference. So Liberia should have been there to have benefited. 100 billion. France, the European Union, and other international partners will be diverting to these African countries that were represented at this conference. So the presidential press secretary does not know the proceeds that came out of the conference. He, however, chose to lie that President Weah was invited. President Weah was invited to that high-profile conference. He didn't go. but now he's being invited to UN Women Conference. He's going. You see the contradiction? How will you be invited to a high-profile conference?
Okay. Martin Colleting is having some internet connection. The problem, right? The President George Weah, is expected to leave France on the 30th of this month. And according to the presidential press secretary, he'll be there for about 3 days. Martin has just said that President Weah leaves. He did not say that right now on the show, but he said to me, which I want to get out of him right now, so we can just zero in on him quickly and open the lines to hear from you, the viewers. Martin, did you threaten a lawsuit against the president? Should he travel with more than should he travel with more than 6 persons, according to the law?
Exactly, Matthias. The law is very crystal clear. And I want to say to the government,
how are you going to file a lawsuit when you're in exile?
If President Weah, I have my lawyers. The other day, the government sued me. My lawyers were available to represent my interest, my legal interest. I have 3 lawyers in the country, headed by Councillor Jala Bapu. So we are going to sue the government. If President Weah, this is an open challenge to the government. If President Weah ever travels with 37 persons on the 30th of June to France, we are going to file a lawsuit against the government. They will pay for every penny they spend on that trip. I repeat, Matthias, we are going to file a lawsuit against the government of President Weah
in which court? In which court? If you have
in the violation of Annex 6 of the 2017 Travel Ordinance.
Martin, which court are you going to sue the government in? Is it Liberia or somewhere else? Because you don't seem to have trust in this current dispensation of judges we have in the country.
I don't trust the court system in Liberia, but we are going to give it a try once more.
Oh my God! Just because you want to sue the president, you're going to give it a try.
I have to say, Matthias.
Yeah.
Let us come to the monetary value, Matthias, of this trip. Let us come to the monetary value, because the Liberian people deserve to know. If you look at this same law, right? If you look at this very same law, per person, when you talk about allowance, TSA, per person, according to the law, is $280 United States dollars per day. So every person that is attending that conference in France will get $280 United States dollars per day, as per the law. Now, President Weah himself, according to this law, he gets 2,000 United States dollars every day he spent out of the country. So he's going for that trip, he will get 2,000 United States dollars as allowance every day. Let's go to plane ticket. What are we spending for plane ticket? The current cost, Matthias, for a plane ticket from Liberia to France through KML Royal Dutch Airlines is $1,515 per person. And this is economy class, not even business class or first class. Let's go to the average cost of hotel in Paris. The average cost, the least hotel in Paris costs 100 euros. If you convert that to United States dollars, you're talking about 156.90 cents. $156.90. Let's go to Visa. You carry 37%. Visa cost, French Visa, short stay French Visa cost 80 euros. If you convert that to dollars, you have $88.33. $88.33. Let's come to the full breakdown, Matthias. Plane ticket for 37 persons for 3 days, $56,055. Allowance for 36 persons for 3 days, $31,080 United States dollars. Per diem allowance for President Weah for 3 days, $6,000 United States dollars. Hotel bills for 37 persons for 3 days in Paris, France, $16,305.90. The cost of visa for 37 persons, $3,271.91. So the total we'll be spending on just a single trip from Monrovia to Paris, France, $112,712.81. For what, Matthias? A poor country like Liberia is spending $112K on just a single foreign trip for 37 public officials? What is this happening in our country? This is more than pathetic and tragic. This is evil, visible evil.
Martin.
What does Liberia stand to benefit from UN Women Conference?
Martin.
UN Women Conference.
Martin, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay, lastly, I just want to say that can we now hold on a little bit to see as the president leaves the country? Maybe we're certainly going to have our eyes in there to see how many persons going to be leaving the president. As of now, the information is out. There may be some adjustment in between internally. The presidential press secretary has said that right now he cannot tell the public how many persons will be traveling with the president. And to you, you say that is something like
Matthias.
Yeah.
Matthias, let me just say this quickly before you go to the line. The government has become so dishonest and hypocritical about the facts. The reality is that particular document was leaked. So they are trying to cover up because such decision will meet the wrath of the masses. How can you be taking Sekou Carrasco to UN Women Conference?
That's the presidential aid, my man. What you want?
How can you know? Matthias, let me learn my thought on this. How can you be taking Bill Twile to UN Women Conference? It is just enough for the Minister of Gender to represent us at that conference.
Martin, you talk about dishonesty, isn't it? Hello? You just talk about dishonesty. Quickly, I want to open the lines, but I'm noticing something on this live feed here. It seems you were using another name on Facebook. Are you the one behind the Ralph P. Williams? Is that the other name on Facebook?
I'm the one behind Ralph P. Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Matthias, let me say this.
Martin,
I am not a perfect man, but I live by principles and values. I am very bold and fearless. When I was a student leader at the University of Liberia, I never used any fake Facebook account. My name is Martin K. Nkoli on Facebook.
Because the write-ups here, you said something. You said a poor country like Liberia spending over 112K on just a single foreign trip for 37 public officials. Those words came directly from you, exactly as they are written here on Ralph P. Williams stuff. And
then that means he copied what I wrote.
Oh, you wrote this.
A lot of people can copy what I wrote on my page.
Thank you so much, Martin. Martin, keep listening. Let me open the lines quickly.
Let me just learn quickly. If you check on Facebook right now, over 100 persons have shared the post I just did. They are sharing it all on their pages. It doesn't mean I'm the owner of that page. Ralph P. Williams is the owner of his page. But like I was saying, to conclude on this note before you go to the line, Matthias, what sense does it make for you to take the Minister of Defense to UN Women Conference? What sense does it make, Matthias, to take Emmanuel Shaw to UN Women Conference? What are they going to do to UN Women Conference? Go and look at the delegation of Ghana to UN Women Conference, the gender minister and her deputy. Go and look at the delegation that is going to France from Nigeria, gender minister, deputy. In Liberia, we have 37 persons. For what? We are spending over 100,000.
Okay.
Do you know what 100,000 can do right now?
Sorry, Martin, at this point, I have to hold you. You have to hold on there a little bit. Let me read out some comments before I announce the numbers. Mostly we don't do justice to the viewers here. Dr. Batum Kola said US has 350 million people. If you report 100 deaths, of course, if you compare that with Liberia is just, if we just did our census now, we're just certainly going to see maybe around 5 million people if we just go on to do census, right? Batum said, Dr. Kula also said these CDC officials know nothing about PR or interacting with the public. Counter the report put out by FPA that 37 people are traveling. Right now, he looks like he does not know or he's being told to keep his mouth shut. And then Florence Kingsley said he came with defense instead of answering the questions. Ralph Williams says following. Abraham says so true. Florence Kingsley said it is absolutely no. We can use that word here. Aliyu Daoda Fofana watching from Bon Mines. Thank you, Aliyu. Aliyu says our health sector is not comparable with the West. He's talking now. We can use that one as well. Florence Kingsley, do you hear how he's answering the questions? Anyway, Florence, this is a family radio program. When people talking and they slip mistakenly say some things, so we don't take those words back, but we cannot read out your comments based on the way you express yourself sometimes. You can't answer a question with a question. Just answer the question solo, Dr. Batum Kula. And Bele Pikin said, Chase KFM, one way you guys have good internet, man. When Liberia gets stable internet, we're going to get stable internet here. Ralph P. Williams says, a poor country like Liberia is spending over 112K on just a single foreign trip. So Martin Collins said he wrote this particular one, so I'm not going to read that. Florence says again, these people will not tell you anything important in the interest of the Liberian people. They will always badmouth the opposition. Let's hear from this person from overseas. Hello? Hello? Call us now. The numbers 0777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this afternoon. Let's hear from this person. Hello. All right. Manthing is stay there. Manthing, just hold the line. We're not talking to you now. Deborah Annie Kroma says, we demand answers from Jetty. Why he brought 100 family members into our country from a country affected with the virus. They are the ones spreading the virus from the country, period. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Lamini Kemoka, calling from Johnson Street.
Lamini, be brief about that. Go ahead, make your point.
You know, there is not a president first time traveling a huge delegation. Why would a president want to travel with two press secretaries on a scene trip? He hasn't made a question. The man doesn't want to answer the question because you know that what he's saying is true. There is a leak information, and I believe the government will do adjustment to that leak.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's hear from this person here on the other side of the line. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Matthias, good afternoon.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ambassador Aaron Ross.
Hey, Ambassador Ross, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the show. I had serious disappointment with the press secretary, Honorable Isaac Solo Kebe.
Go ahead.
I think Isaac have been very much dishonest in the way he answered questions. Either it was intentional or Isaac does not know when to report directly to the public. And information on here on the number, the fact that the press have gone ahead of you to report on a number, Isaac should have been well armed now to come and tell us, hey, the press is saying this, but this is what we have to carry. Secondly, it does not make sense that the president will be trying with the press secretary and the deputy press secretary, meaning that they don't even have a TOR in the office. This is completely dishonest to the country. At this step of time, we are talking about COVID and the president is trying with 37 percent to do what? For how long? What are their roles? What are the TOR? Those are things we're supposed to know. But I see completed the information armed with this government is poor. It's completely poor. There's no coordination. Just from what I'm listening, the coordination is completely poor. And
Okay.
it does not that they're ready to lead and arm on the better information system. But that's how I see it.
Thank you, Ambassador Ross. Let's hear from this other person here. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Matthias.
Mr. Harris, go ahead. Ben, hold the line.
Yeah, David Harris calling from Broad Street.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Matthias, I think the presidential press secretary was not sincere because I listened to him telling us, since we're taking the paper as law and gospel, we should go by the paper. But my thing to him, he taught that not law and gospel. So for now, we'll take the paper as face value and then he can come up with any press release.
I tell you,
But
right?
he did say that anyway,
Okay, thank you, Harris. Ben, go ahead. Ben, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Matthias. Let me say good afternoon to Aberrance following. Let me say this, Matthias. It'd be very unfair to the presidential spokesman to say he's not informed, though. The fact of the matter that you have called him to ascertain a fact as to whether the news languaging around about 37 persons traveled with the president, as well as factual or not. And you came and said that is not true. So I think we should hold on to that, instead of all, really coming.
But Ben, let me ask you now, Ben, if I say to you that you are this person, you come to say, no, I'm not that person. What do you think I'll be expecting from you? You should be telling me now who you are, right?
Absolutely. But again,
but why didn't the presidential press secretary tell us how many persons the president is traveling with?
He has just told you, Matthias, that at this point in time, is not prepared to let the cat out of the bag. So does it also mean to you that by virtue of what you have said, Romans is substantial?
That's
You
not.
are credited to the public that is not true, and he even said to him that he can go further on beyond that reportage by virtue of the fact that if the trip, like you put it right, if the person is still should be leaving, go to the airport and check the people in the plane.
Okay.
But on the all matters, the point here is that let us not be able to be so quick to look at our officials and say they are lying, they are not saying the truth, because these are people that represent the country.
Okay, I think the listeners, Liberians, sometimes get angry and say their words. Those are not my words. I'll choose my words wisely. I'm very picky in my words. Picky. It sounds is a word. If you define it, if you come across a word meaning, picky could also mean being choosy in words. I'm very picky in my words. Let's hear from this other person. Martin is on the line. Quickly, just Martin, you have just 1 minute 30 seconds. Can you conclude quickly, sir?
Thank you, Matthias. We just want to reiterate the position of the Liberian people because we are speaking in behalf of the Liberian people on this particular matter. The government must reduce the number of persons that are expected to travel from Monrovia to Paris for that UN Women Conference. This is a popular mandate from the Liberian people. We are not negotiating this. We are mandating those who were entrusted with public posts to listen very well. Any attempt for President Weah to travel with 37 persons this time around from Monrovia to France, we can assure him that his government will be sued under the laws of Liberia with specific reference to Annex 3, the 2017 Travel Ordinance of the Republic of Liberia. This is Kurate Matthias. I just received photos, fresh photos from Jenikin. Jenikin is in Grand Creek County. The road is cut. Cars are not entering in Grand Creek County because the road is cut as a result of flood. You know what 100,000 can do for that particular road? People are suffering in rural Liberia. Our people are suffering in slum communities. You're talking about a delegation of 37 persons. When the information leaks out and the media tries to report it, then you say, oh, that's not true. They are going to adjust the list because of the alarm we have raised. And we will continue to raise this alarm until that list is reduced to the law says. The law says at most 6. A government delegation should be at most 6. Probably President Weah does not know.
Okay. Thank you so much, Martin. We have the cut him up. Martin is would never accept to say leave. All right.
It is our responsibility to provide this clarification whenever they need it.
Thank you, Martin. Martin Kian-Colley. It's always a pleasure having you on, young man, strong man as well. One of the brightest young people that Liberia should be proud of in the future. We just hope that when the day you assume public office and we start to make you will be tolerant and listen to us because you are the one using the media to get to stardom. Lastly, let me just give you our motivational message this afternoon from Modibo Keita. He says, when the citizens of a nation deem their most accomplished thieves as the most electable, then they lose the right to complain when theft becomes their national creed. My name is Matthias Labindi. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Do join us tomorrow. Monday from 7 to 9 o'clock, and in the afternoon as well. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.